Okay, so it's 5 o'clock, 1700 in military time. It's 30th of March, 2021. This is week 4, LDR 490, Leadership Capstone Zoom session. If you're in the wrong place, then now's the time to go. Remember back when I was doing undergraduate work, Jamison University, I was in my business capstone course. And I always prided myself. I was never the last one in the class. There was a couple times I'd run late because I was working or doing whatever. But I was never the last person into the classroom. And on this particular one day, there was somebody behind me. It's the first day of class. And I come in, sit down. She's right behind me. She's got a whole box full of papers and books. She's talking to herself, and she's obviously harried and rushed. And she starts handing out a piece of paper, and comes up to me and asks, in Spanish, what I could take of it from my junior high days. ¿Cómo se llama usted? Or I think, or it may not, whatever it was. I think it was, how are you doing? And I remember enough to say, I see. And she goes up to somebody else, does the same thing. Does this to about 3 or 4 people. And finally, she goes up to one guy and he says, look, he goes, I can't understand a single word you're saying. So either I'm in the wrong place or you're in the wrong place. She looks at him and looks at all of us with a shocked look on her face. And she goes, this isn't Spanish 301? No, it's business 510 or something. I can't remember now what it was. Anyway, so she takes the pieces of paper out of her hands. It turned out to be syllabus. She was the instructor. So she was in the wrong place. So I always tell that story to tell this story, which is if you're in the wrong place, now's the time to leave. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting through this for the next 30 minutes. Okay. Everybody's doing pretty good. Some of you have done superb. I mean, it just, the level of work. Sorry about that. I don't know what was doing that. I think I set my glasses down. Anyway, absolutely superb work. And I encourage you to keep it going. I think you all have a good feel now for what I'm looking for, what my expectations are of you. If you're looking for the easy answer to these questions, there is none. It is really what you come up with. And that's what I'm after. This is more of a capstone course in the sense of you've learned most of the material that University of Mount Olive wants to present to you. You've done that through your textbooks and previous coursework. Now what we're doing, of course, as you know, is we're reading Without Reservations there by Marriott, Salvation Army by Watson and Brown. 2 common reference points, if you will. And then what we're doing is we're all sharing that. We're sharing what we've pulled out of it. We're sharing what each of us sees, and what I think are big major takeaways from the books may not be yours, particularly from a leadership perspective. We all have our own approaches. We all have our own views. What we're trying to do here is have you pull something out of your readings that illuminates a leadership principle, a trait, a theory, a principle, a model, and then sharing that with the rest of your class. The questions on the discussion forum and in the weekly assignments all lend you to doing this. The discussion forum is there predominantly for each other, for you, the students, and helping each other learn or pick up or, expand upon, hey, I saw the same thing, or hey, that's a great point. I never saw that. But because it's a discussion forum, I'm going to make sure that I leave you my own feedback, which I do. You'll notice that I try to get that feedback to you by Thursday. The weekly assignments is more one-on-one, you with me, okay? And so this is your opportunity to send something to me. Let me see what you're writing. And target it on a specific question, because there's certain things that I'm hoping you're going to see. And I provide that to you as well as feedback. I provide feedback to you there in the discussion forum feedback I give you. You'll see it comes in there right after the discussion question, and in the comments I leave for you and turn it in. So make sure you look at both spots. All this culminates, excuse me, I apologize for yawning on you. Hold on. All of this culminates in your final project, final paper. That paper is worth 50% of your grade, half of it. And it is designed to be 15 to 25 pages long. You'll note that I don't grade by number of pages. If you can get your points made and get an effective paper done in 5 pages, go for it. I don't think you can, not in this class. If it's going to take you 30 pages to do it, then do so. Don't give fluff. I mean, get to your points. But if it takes you that long to make your points, then feel free to do so. I may not be exactly happy, but I won't mark down. What I'm after is a convincing argument. Okay, your position statement is your argument. It's usually the yes or no. It's either or. Okay, in all aspects, you're essentially writing a paper at the end of this course that's titled Effective Leadership Lessons. And you're picking 3 to 5, right? Actually 5 chapters. So each chapter is going to be that leadership principle, that trait, that method, that model that you want to touch on. If you want to use what you've done in your weekly assignments, that's fine. As an example, if one of your chapters is about risk and you want to reuse what you wrote in the weekly assignment about risk, I think that was what, last week before, then feel free to do so. Okay, you're going to have to expand on it, obviously, to make it a full paper. But if you have produced work for this course and want to use it for your final chapter or chapter in your final paper, then go for it. If you're going to bring in a paper from another class, I'm okay with that. So you have my permission. The University of Mount Olive, though, has a academic integrity policy. And if you look at that policy, you'll notice that turning in work from another class without the instructor's approval is considered a form of cheating by the University of Mount Olive. Even if it's your own stuff, I'm not even talking about plagiarism here. I'm just talking about your own work. So what they want you to do is make sure you get both instructors' approval. So like I said, you already have mine. It's from somebody else's course, you can bring it in. But you need to make sure you also have the instructor of that original class, his or her permission. Okay, so both instructors have to agree that you can bring in your own work. Okay. All right. Sorry, I've got a bad back and it's catching me here today, so may not make it through a full session. So far, it looks like just me. Let's see here. Yep. Yeah. Anyway, So let's take a look at where we're at. This is our Moodle page, of course. And you all have finished week 3. So I can close this down, I think. Yeah, here's chapter 1 of the final project. Okay, so some of you have got it in. Similarity grades look pretty decent. Some of you haven't gotten it in. Okay. Those of you who have, all right, let me adjust this for those who still have yet to turn it in. Okay, been adjusted. Those of you that haven't turned it in yet, and you have talked to me, you're okay. Keep going with the program that you and I discussed and agreed to. If you haven't turned it in and you have not talked to me, you got a problem. So let's get these turned in. Okay. Again, the whole idea here is we don't want to be waiting until the very last minute to write a 25-page paper just to see me give it a bad grade because you haven't turned any work into me before. Okay. So take advantage of this, please. All right. Okay, let's close that down. That's week 3. Anyway, you'll notice your grading is probably stabilized out a little bit. All right, and that's good. That gives you at least an area to consider where you're at and where you're going. Okay. If it's bouncing around, that should tell you that there's some weeks that you may have been rushed and didn't do as good a job on something as you normally would. Okay. So take a look at those weeks that you did well and what you did about it, and get after the future with the same or if not better work. Okay. You all again are know the material. Just a matter of making sure that you catch your topic and then give sufficient depth. Okay. Now, on some of these, I'm going to push your comfort zone a little bit in the sense that I may be looking for you to expand on your answer a little bit. Okay. If I'm telling you, or if I'm asking you how you can do something, just to say, well, I'll improve communication or I'll be more innovative, et cetera, is not quite good enough for A-level work. Needs more depth, okay? Specifics. Give me the so what, okay? If it's a determination of better communication, then how? Specific steps can you do that? Okay, hold town hall meetings, bring people one-on-one, have an open door policy. You see what I'm getting at? It's a matter of getting in some of the detail work. You've had the broad theory. Now's the time to start getting into some of the real nuts and bolts of how you're going to do something, the nitty gritty. Okay. Now, some of that depends on, the model that you're using. Okay. If you didn't even give me a model, I may still have given you some credit because you're talking about it. Some of you did that last week. You were giving me, well, I'm going to work with my employee and we're going to make sure that we, meet the objectives, and it's servant leadership. Good. Okay. That's a start. That was good. What, in a lot of cases, what I would really love to see is if you'd picked up on that being path goal leadership. Okay. And use that term, use that model. Okay. What is path goal? You recall that's where you, in that subordinate, look at the end state, the goal that they want to achieve, and you develop out the path they're going to use to get there. And that's going to require you to reduce some obstacles or provide resources or the like. Okay. Some of you got into satisfiers. Okay. And hygiene factors. Well, and that's Herzberg's two-factor theory. Okay. What can you tell me about that? Okay. I hope everybody sees what I'm getting at. Okay. So here we are in week 4. Your discussion forum this week. Good. Okay. Summarize what learnings you have found in each book. Okay. So at this point, you are a number of chapters into each book. You should have a good feel for what type of leader Marriott is, what type of leader Watson is. Okay. What commonalities have you found in both? Okay. And where have you seen some differences? Okay. Same thing in the organization. Okay. Even though one is a for-profit and one is technically a not-for-profit, are there some similarities in the organization? Okay, from a leadership perspective, and are there some different approaches that jump out at you? Okay, in part, I want you to key in on, that aspect of contingency. Okay, remember, contingency leadership is not using the same trait over and over and over again. Okay, there may be times where your democratic approach or your servant leadership approach may not get you the result that you want. If the building is on fire and I rush in and discuss with you your thoughts on getting out of the building, that's probably not going to lead to success. I may need to take a more direct, tyrannical approach, okay, until you get out of the building now, okay, dictatorial approach. I think you could see my example, okay? Anyway, good stuff. Get your posting in on Wednesday, the 31st, yep. And then, of course, comment on others by Friday night. Okay, written assignment. Written assignment asks you to go to each website and explore, okay, from the perspective of the boss. If you were the CEO for Marriott, if you were the commanding officer of Salvation Army, does the website work? Okay, what did you notice on these websites that would attract potential employees and future clients? Okay, to have a website, you're going to want to address both. You're not going to want to just have a employee website. That almost defeats the purpose. You want to have the ability to attract clients, but also remember clients sometimes become employees, make the best ones. So I want you to go in and dive into these web pages. Now, I've given you a couple example articles, and those are a little bit more technical based, get into call outs and certain aspects. What I want you to do is get into that to a degree. Sorry, my dog was getting into something here. So anyway, when you look at a web page, yes, you're looking at how effective it is overall. But I want you to get a little bit past. I want you to get past. The web page is pretty. It has good colors, and I like the music. Okay, that's important, and that's a piece of it. But from a leadership perspective, what is it that we're looking for? Okay, so I want you kind of engage through that a little bit, and see where you get. Okay, I'm afraid if I give you any more, I'll give away the answer that I'm looking for, and that doesn't necessarily help you. But as always, get that in by Saturday, and then you have chapter 2 of your final project. Okay. Chapter 1 of the final project, I'm still looking at. I will be giving feedback on that in part today. Probably might be tomorrow by the time I get to too much of it. Okay. All right. And then we should be getting set. Obviously, Thursday, I give you some feedback on discussion forum. So Thursday or Friday, I'll give out the weekly assignment instructions. I got to be honest with you, I screwed up here, and I'm not sure how it happened. In the announcement section, I could see that I didn't post the week 3 assignment. I'm not sure what happened there. I know I did. I'm very sure I did, but it didn't show up. So that's why you saw that. So I hope it didn't screw you up too much. But here's your week 4 assignment instructions, and here's those 2 articles that may or may not help. I think they'll help you out. Again, don't get too worried about being the technical geek on writing or on coding web pages. Again, give me some perspective from a leadership approach. Okay. All right. And then, week 4. So we're almost halfway through. It's going to go by fast. Okay. All right. I've been sending you a variety of communications. I've been sending some by course message. Let's take a look at that real fast. So, 2 or 3 have gone out. Looks like you're getting them. If not, you're sending me an email, and I've been responding. If you haven't gotten a response from me on an email, then you need to let me know. And then, of course, you have your ask for help forum. This is more designed to also get some help from your fellow students. So if you want to ask a fellow student something, here's a great place to go if you all use it. Okay. Again, if you put something here, I'll get after it. Again, if it's a more of a urgent nature, do an email. If it's critical nature, obviously text or cell phone. Okay. There's some aspects here, a research paper. I will send you the rubric for the paper probably around week 6. Yeah, week 6, I'll probably send it out. Okay. Now's a little early. I want you to kind of focus in on what you got. Okay. Don't forget, you have access to a lot of technology and support out there. University of Mount Olive has a lot to offer, and the library is runs Zoom sessions and others to help you out on certain things like how to do research. At this point, you should be pretty good. You're about ready to graduate, so can't imagine many of you would need to use that. All right, week 5, 6, everything's been loaded in, so it is feasible to work ahead if you need to. I caution you that if you are going to work ahead, make sure you do the readings before you try to answer the questions. Okay. All right. With that, I'm going to end this one a little bit early because I got it. I can't seem to get this back to cooperate with me. I want to tell you how much I appreciate everybody's work and attention and patience and resiliency. Y'all are doing good work. Keep it up. Okay. If there's an issue, I will let you know and we'll work through it. Okay. All right. With that, I'm going to ask that y'all have a good day. And I'm afraid I'm going to sign off. Take good care.